Hi there again, fellow vegetable nerds. Really is nice to see you again. Oh, what's that? What's up with the cornucopia on the counter? It's a long story, which I will tell you. But first...
Hey, turn up the caramello and chisel on the shizney. It's time for me to what? Let me introduce myself. I'm Gino Burrito. My pants are made of leather. I find it hard to concentrate.
So today was vegetable drawer cleanout day. I would love to tell you that that's a thing I do on a regular basis and that I have a set day and maybe once a week I do that. That is not how I roll, but I did it at all and I'm happy with myself for that. Most of it survived, okay? A couple of things had to be tossed and that really bums me out, but I'm trying not to dwell on that. I buy vegetables with the best possible intentions, as I feel everybody does. You know, most of the time I use it all up and I get this very particular joy from using the last of something and I'm like, yes, I got it right from beginning to end. I used it all, nothing got wasted. I made a plan and I did the plan perfectly, and then sometimes I just get knocked down for a while by random happenstance. Sometimes it's something that is external, sometimes something that just comes along and affects me. A lot of the time it's just completely random internal stuff. I have some issues with staying positive. I have some issues with depression and a little bit of anxiety, I think. And I've come to realize that I probably have some ADHD, which, you know, that's also fun. Why not just throw it all in there? Just make a big ol' salad. But I know that if I'm having a hard time, I know other people are having a hard time. And it's worth talking about. And I've wanted to talk about this for a little while because there's definitely an intersection between mental illness and food and things like feeding yourself and feeding yourself well. As I was cleaning out the fridge, I came across these in a bag, looking pretty sad. Looking kind of how I felt the past few days. And that's gross as hell. And they don't look nice and they don't smell great and they're not fun to touch. And I thought, you know, I could just throw these out. I can just toss them away. I mean, there's nothing stopping me. I have more Brussels sprouts in the fridge even. So, you know, that's no problem. I had to think about that. And I was like, you know, it's a real privilege to be able to just throw food away, especially if it might be salvageable. And truth be told, I'm in a position of privilege right now. I could throw this away. This would not be, you know, catastrophic. But I haven't always been in that position. And I might not always be. And maybe somebody watching this isn't. You know, things happen in life that you can't always control. And if this is all you have in your fridge, like, it's not the end. You can do something about this. It's okay. You know, not every situation is so far gone that it can't be salvaged. And I know for myself, I get sometimes very overwhelmed by how big or how difficult something seems. Something that can seem very simple to somebody who doesn't have difficulties with things. You know, something like cleaning my apartment or doing the dishes or making breakfast or going to bed before 4 in the morning. And sometimes I get really overwhelmed by the seeming size of the things that I need to do. And it's easy to tell myself that it's bigger than it is. And the longer I let it go, the bigger it gets and the worse it gets. But sometimes the best thing that you can do is just slow down for a second and take a look at it and say, what can I do here? What can I do with this? And you start to see little things that you can start peeling away. And you don't have to do it all at once. You just find the little thing that you can do, and you do that little thing, just one thing at a time. And then it starts to looking better. And it starts to looking more manageable. And it's not done. But you can see where you're going now. And you can start to get a little bit of momentum. And you can start to feel like there's something here that I can make of this. I can do this. And the more you do, the more you feel like you can do, because you can. You can do it. And the next thing you know, it's done. And it's not the same as when you started. There's a little less here, but there's plenty. And you can just get rid of all that isn't working for you. You don't have to throw it all away and give up. You don't have to quit. You don't have to start over from zero. You can get to what's important at the center of it. It seems hard. Let me put it that way. Because that wasn't hard. Doing that wasn't hard. Thinking about doing that was hard. Getting started doing that was hard. Getting started making this video was hard. I am sorry I'm waving a knife at you. Let me put that down. I'm sorry. It took me days to start this video. Or any video. It took me days to get to a point where I could be in a mindset to do anything. And it took hours once I decided that I could do a video to get started doing the video. I felt like sharing that today, partially because, hey, it's vegetable related, you know? But also, I realized that I'm not the only person who struggles. And I realized that I'm not the only person who struggles with this particular thing or related things. Times are kind of stressful right now. And I think that people who already were having a hard time are having a slightly harder time. And that's okay. And I think it's important to remember to give yourself a little bit of space and to forgive yourself for having a hard time and to be kind to yourself for struggling. Instead of getting upset about how difficult things are, just remember to celebrate the things that you did do, the things that you could do, and remember that you can do more than you think you can. And it all just starts with one little action, cleaning one little corner of your apartment. One little corner of your apartment. And then my cat demolishes another one and just flings everything off of a counter and dumps a bunch of stuff out and then yells at me. That's a fun thing that happens. Can't take it personally. You know, my cat's not doing that on purpose. She's just an asshole. She's a furry little agent of chaos. So look at that. There's no reason to throw anything away when it can be salvaged. So now that I've beaten that metaphor to death, this is why this video was so hard to get started. It's one of the reasons why it was so hard to get started. But one of them was just, how do I talk about this honestly without getting maudlin or overstating things or coming off as sort of saccharine, which, that ain't me. I mean, I try to be positive. I try to tap into joy when I make these videos. I try to remember what I love about vegetables and how happy they make me. And I try to access that very genuine joy so that I can share it with everybody else, because that's what I'm here to do. I'm not an expert on anything, but I tell you what, I can get real fucking happy about vegetables, and I can try and encourage you to do the same. That's what I'm good at. That's what I'm here to do. But it has to be authentic. I can't just come in here and like, hey everybody, life is great, and like, we're gonna make some vegetables and the world is wonderful. It's like, no man, everything's hard. You wanna make some pickles? Let's make some pickles. While I've been doing this, hopefully it hasn't been super loud. I don't know how this picks up sound, but I have been boiling some water. I'm not always great at prioritizing tasks, unless you are a prospective employer, in which case I'm so good at that, and I'm a multitasker, and I am self-directed, and a real hard worker, a team player. Anyway, I've been boiling some water, and I'm gonna dump these in there and cook them for about 5 minutes until they're, just about cooked. Okay, so those are gonna boil a little bit. While that is happening, I have been simmering this pot here. steamy, steamy. And in that pot, I have, it's not my recipe, I borrowed the recipe. I've never made this before, I'm really excited. So I've got 3/4 of a cup of water, 1/4 of a cup of white vinegar, and a teaspoon of coarse kosher salt. I'm going to post the recipe up in the description so that you can try making this yourself, but I will try and remember to give you, I will try and remember to give you amounts as I go. This is going to go really fast. It's just not that hard to make pickles. These are going to be quick pickles. We're not going to be canning them. They're not going to be shelf stable. They're going to have to go in the fridge, but that's fine. This is a really fun and easy thing to do when you have a little bit of something and you want to make sure that it lasts in the fridge. This is a great way to make sure that I get these used up. And also, you wouldn't think it, but pickled Brussels sprouts are delicious. I had no idea. I had them on my birthday. We went to this place in Portland called Kenny and Zook's. It's a Jewish deli. And one thing we got was some pickled vegetables, and it was just all kinds of pickled vegetables. So many kinds of pickled vegetables. There was pickled Brussels sprouts, which I didn't even know that you could do. And there was pickled zucchini, which was amazing. And there was pickled mushrooms, which were also really good. And they had all different flavors too. So, and they were all mixed in together. So it was great because you never know which one you're gonna get. And I really like that sort of food roulette. Some of them were sort of like a dill kind of pickle where they're a little sour, and some were a little bit sweeter, like a bread and butter kind of thing. And there were some that were smoky. That was really cool because I've never had a smoky pickle before. And so ever since then, I have been wanting to make more pickles. I have some zucchini pickles that I made, and those are in the fridge. Those are yummy. Actually, we got 5 minutes until this is gonna be doing its thing. So let me show you my pickles. Check it out. I got this recipe from Milk Run, which is, you know, the people that I get vegetables from quite often. I've used a couple of their recipes so far, and both of them have just been perfect, out of this world. And then when I saw the recipe for these bread and butter zucchini pickles, I was like, I want that for me. And so I gave it a shot. I made a gigantic mess. And look at these yummy things. I'm gonna post the recipe for these as well, because you really should try making these. They were very, very easy. Yeah, I made a mess. You'll probably do a better job of that than I did. So while those are cooking, and basically they're just kind of boiling in some water, because you want to get them sort of pre-cooked a little bit. And they only need to cook for about 5 minutes. You just want to get them a little tender. While that's happening, I have my pan sort of simmering with my water and my vinegar and my salt. And I have a jar, which is what these are going to go into. I've also, and this is unusual, that I have my mise en place, haha, which is French for get your shit together. And in here, let's see what I have. Well, that smells really nice. That smells really nice. Let's see if I can show. Whoa. Chiller Diller 3D House of Stewardesses. Whoa. I've got some sliced garlic in there. They said to use 1 clove. I used 2. I've got some bay leaf in there, which is yummy. I've got some peppercorns in there, some black peppercorns. I have some yellow mustard seeds, and I have some pepper flakes. They said a pinch of pepper flakes. My pinches get a little big. I like a little pinch. So this stuff is gonna go into my jar. I get to feel like one of those fancy TV chefs where they're just like, oh, and I put in some of this, and I put in some of this, and some of that. And they got like a little ramekin for every ingredient. I'm not washing that many ramekins. Like, are you kidding me? You're lucky I'm washing this bowl. So what you wanna do is you wanna rinse these in cold water to stop them from continuing to cook. Otherwise, they're gonna like overcook and get real mushy. And the last thing you want is overcooked Brussels sprouts. Boiling Brussels sprouts is the least good way to cook Brussels sprouts. So we don't want to cook these all the way, and we definitely don't want to overcook them. Okay, what we have now is a pan that's still hot, but we have sprouts that I can safely touch with my hands. Like so. Add your hot vinegar mixture. There's almost nothing in here. I think I had this on the stove too long. Starting over. I don't know where my measuring spoons are from, but they're in metric. Rude. Blah. Take a moment to commune with nature. I hear something, but it's not the ocean. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our hot meat, pour it onto our sprouts. So it's gonna look like that. So all I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna let this come to room temperature. I'm gonna let it cool off just a little bit. I'm gonna pop the lid on, toss it in the fridge. According to this recipe, you should chill it for at least 4 days before you eat it, but you can chill it for up to 2 weeks before you eat it, and it's gonna last in your refrigerator for about a month. I just bought myself some more time. I hope you decide to try these out, and if you do, let me know how they went. Thanks for hanging out. Please remember to like and subscribe if you get a chance. I appreciate that very, very much. If you feel like sharing this video, that also would be wonderful. And please be nice to somebody today, including yourself. Okay? I love you. Bye.
Hey, turn up the caramello and shizzle on the shizney. It's time for me to what? Let me introduce myself. I'm Gino Burrito. My pants are made of leather.